Welcome to Taking Over, but I mean, really, this isn't a recap show like it normally is. Tonight, no. Tonight is a preview show. Tonight is a preview show for next week because thank you all for who are already here. We're going to go ahead and do this now, and I'm sure we'll do it again later on. Next week, Cody Rhodes is making a major announcement in his first time ever in NXT. Ironically, the place that his dad helped build. Asuka, who could potentially be the women's champion, coming into the show next week, depending on how Fastlane goes over this weekend, is taking on Roxanne Perez, apparently at the behest of Kiana James? Somehow, because reasons? Oh, the Breakout tournament continues again next week. That's fine. I mean, honestly, NXT cares about as much as that Breakout tournament next week as I do right now. They're like, oh, AEW is coming here next week? Oh, well, we should put some stuff on. And by the way, the main event of next week's episode, because I guarantee you it's the main event. If it's not the main event, I guarantee you it opens the show. It's one or the other. It is Carmelo Hayes with John Cena versus Braun Breaker. No, that's not a created graphic that I've made. With Paul Heyman in his corner. Holy Christ, what the hell? Astrid, thoughts?
That's it. TK, hold my beer. I got more for you. It's like, I forgot the Dynamo was going against NXT next week. And then first I hear Carmelo say Cena, and I'm like, that's cool. I was like, both for Massachusetts, I get it. And then I hear Asuka as well. I was like, okay, I hear you. And then Heyman on top of it, and then Cody, I was like, wait, I forgot what's happening next week. It's the Tuesday Night Wars next week.
Yeah, NXT remembered the assignment. Let's be honest here. They knew what the assignment was, and the assignment is make sure we have a kick-ass show next week.
Yeah, HBK said, not on my watch, CK. Not on my watch.
We've got some friends in the chat. Sean Cena jumping in and saying hello. Our good friend Carl Carafel from Turnbuckle Studios, which if you haven't, go ahead and check out the Turnbuckle Studios. Earlier today, they did Turnbuckle Talk with Carl and Chris and maybe OMD, depending on which week it is. As OMB is a sometimes guest, and I didn't see today's episode just yet. But after us, go check them out. And of course, our video bro, Bobby Munson. Good evening. Oh, holy hell, did NXT want to... Man, they just wanted to go all out this week. Well, no, they didn't want to go all out this week. They went on to go all out next week.
Dang, that's all I can think of.
We do have a... The tables, thank you for joining us. We greatly appreciate you coming around. Yes, Sean is not messing around next week when he knows he's got Dynamite and he's got NXT head to head, he's like, well, let's just see what happens if we bring real star power down.
He
And it's not
definitely
like
went all out.
NXT doesn't have star power, but this is a different level of star
Yeah.
power.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed this week's NXT and No Mercy as well. Sean Cena brings it up, so we'll go ahead and address this first, and then we'll go ahead and get into the show proper. He says, it was brought to my attention that Roxanne got booed during her promo. I didn't hear any. Oh, I did.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, did she get booed? That crowd did not want her out there during that segment for some reason. Which is
Why?
funny. Which is funny, because that crowd normally really likes her.
Yeah. I have no explanation. I don't know what happened there. Because I kept thinking about, like, why do they boot her? Because if it's the reason of, like, oh, Indi never lost the title, well, Roxanne didn't either. She has the same claim that Indi has. So I was like, the only reason I would think about is that Roxanne came in NXT and she was doing everything. Like, she did everything during that whole year, whole, like, if you call it rookie year in NXT. So, like, probably thinking like, oh, she shouldn't be here because it should be somebody else's opportunity and time to have that shine. That's the only reason I can think of. But I was like, why would you boo her? She has the same right as Indi to be there right now, so it didn't make sense to me. But that's the only reason I can think about.
I mean, technically, she's lost matches for the championship since she lost the title.
Yeah.
Whereas Indi Hartwell's not had any because she
Mhm.
literally, as she said, went directly to the main roster after having been given the champion, after winning the championship again, and then getting drafted.
Mhm.
I mean, I still can't get over all the announcements. We get an NXT No Mercy recap to start the show, and then we get one of two incredibly long promos that took forever to finish. And this is coming from a guy who obviously doesn't like half the people in one and loves the people in the other, and thought both of them were one, too long, and two, way too wordy.
Yeah.
Go ahead and talk to me, though, what you thought about the Becky Lynch and Friends promo.
Friends. No, what I liked about this part more than anything is that it shows that so many people could go and say, look, I want to go against you, Becky. And they have so many reasons to do so as well. I think imagine just the only three of them came out, but there's so many other women that would have come out in this position and said, I want an opportunity. And you know how many other women would have lined up in there as well right after them. I think that that would have been an incredible visual if it did happen, for example. But and they like having the three girls that came in. Indi had already told Becky on during Raw that she was coming out whenever Becky was having her promo to kick off the show tonight. So we already knew that Indi was gonna be one of those people coming out. And like I said a few minutes ago, she has one of those. She had the claim of like she never lost the title, which is understandable. And then she went to the main roster. She never got that rematch, nothing like that. And then Lyra is just like, your NXT debut inspired me to be here. And I was like, I love Becky, but I don't think her debut really inspired anybody to really do anything because it definitely did not inspire me when I saw it. I just went, how long is she gonna last? Because I didn't think anything was gonna happen with her dance moves and everything, or like a dance moves. I don't know what to call them, but yeah, you know what I mean. So, well, you're muted.
The Celtic sensation that was Becky Lynch in her green attire with her Irish Celtic dancing
and the music.
And the music.
I remember everything.
Oh God, the music.
Yeah. So thinking of that, and then Lyra being like, you're the one that inspired me. So I like having this part of like we have this moment of Becky Lynch coming in here and saying, look, I want to take anybody that wants to come out here. And having not one, not two, but three people come out here and say, look, hey, I want to face you. So I definitely like that start of it as well. Like having the girls each one stay their case, and Becky being Becky is like, I'm not gonna pick anybody. I'm just gonna have all three of you wrestle because I want to watch you guys wrestle. And then whoever wins it goes against me at at Halloween Havoc, which is night 1 because it's a 2-week event at this point for this month. But yeah, it's like I like how we have the connection with Lyra as well. Lyra saying it's like, hey, you debuted in June 2014, and then that inspired me to start training. She talks about that, and I like having that connection between them, and it gives us more insight into Lyra's character because we don't know much about her except from being the bird lady, as Ed calls her. But I love especially with like that part of Indi going as well. Hey, if Becky can do Mondays and Tuesdays, so can I. And I'm like, you got it, Indi. I love the love for Indi that during this promo as well. But like Sean Cena say, they definitely did boo Roxanne. Don't know why that happened, but it definitely just it shocked me to say the least. Um, but yeah, I love everybody coming in here, giving a little bit of their story here as well, and just Becky going, "We're gonna do a three-way, and the winner faces me." And I said, "Great," but yeah, I understand the part that it felt like it took too long to get to the point, which is the part that frustrated me in this because I was like, you could have gone a little bit faster than what it was. But either way, I did like this overall segment and how it went. Don't forget you're muted.
I was typing up our new poll, which this week on the Our Local Establishment side, so if you're not watching over there, make sure you just jump over and go ahead and definitely go ahead and give the poll a look. It's which show will you be watching? NXT, AEW, or both? I gave an option for everybody. I didn't rig this poll. But yeah, I'm interested to see what people are going to be watching. I'm a child of the Monday Night Wars, so I mean, obviously I'll be watching NXT. But I know that there were days where I would channel surf, and I would flip back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And I have a feeling a lot of people are going to be dual screening because that's the new channel flipping. The internet is not reacting as highly and incentivized as I thought they would about this news. You can really see a lot of the AEW fan base coming out in full force tonight upon hearing the people coming out. We've got Menace Wrestling saying, "Imagine if NXT loses to AEW next week," with a gif of Kevin Durant laughing. We've got Marking Out Podcast saying, "WWE is petty as hell, man. Seriously, Jade Cargill's about to challenge to win the NXT Women's Championship next week too." Like, they're not petty. They're loading a show on their own regular night because AEW got bumped. It's not their fault somebody came on their night. Anyways, back to women. It was a fine promo. All the girls did everything they needed to do. Lyra was a bit too sickly sweet. And I didn't like that there was no sign of a heel anywhere in sight. Because I'm fine with face versus face as an overall okay, this can happen type of thing. But I really didn't like the fact that it was 3 baby faces going up to face a babyface champion. And even if they do something crazy on Raw, like have Tegan Nox win the title on Raw next week, it's still a babyface. Mm-hmm. So it annoys me a little bit that they decided to go this way with it. That being said, it set up a fun match. Yeah. It set up a fun match that I'm excited to see. With Chris Best saying, "I love how everyone laid their claim on who deserves the women's title." I agree. I just wish there was some hide nor hair of a heel somewhere in this. Because I'll be honest, I'm going to take a little shortcut to the match right there. The match suffered the fact that there was no heel. Because it felt really odd to see 2 baby faces working together to beat up another baby face. But we'll get to that when we get there. We have a package for the women's breakout tournament here. And it says that Izzi Dame and Kelani Jordan are going to be tonight's match. And I'm like, goody. You can tell I'm really looking forward to this women's breakout tournament and all the wonderful talent that are in these matches. CBRS Entertainment kind of wish Tiffany Stratton came out then. No, I like the fact that they're done. did what she needed to do. She proved who she is and how hard she wants it, and she's done. And it gets her some much needed time off, and she can recover because, like Dominic, she has a hell of a shiner on her. And if her gimmick is I look beautiful, they need to let her get rid of that shiner for a few weeks before they bring her back. But I have a feeling she will be back. I'm assuming she'll be back at Halloween Havoc. She'll make a return. And then we get Butch and Tyler Bate coming down for their match against Gallus. And ironically, it just basically comes back to the match that we were promised before the break. Goodness gracious, NXT. Like, they did it first, but all it was like 20 seconds of Trick Williams walking in and Dominic.
And
I'm like, but they didn't have another promo. They didn't have a 4-minute segment in between. They just brought out the other wrestlers. It was nice. This match was fun. I liked this match. This match was great. It did everything it needed to do. Joe Coffey got involved like he was supposed to. Booker T is terrible on commentary like he's supposed to. Vic Joseph is getting more annoying on commentary, which is a bad thing. Because Booker T's so annoying on commentary, now Vic's becoming annoying. They need to fix this, and the fix is get Booker out of there. I don't care if you put Peter Rosenberg in there, and I hate Peter Rosenberg.
Oh no, don't wish that upon us. No.
There's a perfectly good Big E that needs to learn how to do commentary if he can't come back to wrestling. Just saying. Match is great. Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne have some fun offense. They manage to get the win. And then the numbers game takes over. And out comes Ridge Holland. Like I said on the No Mercy post show, that Ridge Holland would be the third for British Strong Style because they weren't bringing back Trent Seven. Because they know. Hey, look, British Strong Style was made of 3 really fun and talented wrestlers that people loved. Well, no, it was made up of 2 people that the crowd really loved, and Trent Seven. I like Trent Seven. I think he's fine, but he's not necessary when you have a perfectly good Ridge Holland that Vince McMahon adores sitting over there.
Yeah.
And to be honest, Triple H likes him too. Because remember, he was supposed to be part of the McAfee group that had Pete Dunne in it in NXT. Before he got hurt and cost himself a match against Adam Cole for the NXT Championship. Don't forget that one. Oh, that poor man. Chris Best saying, I miss Trent Seven. You might be the only one. I mean, well, you and Mark Talks Wrestling. I also do want to play something, as we did have our favorite friends. Oh, I don't have it in my phone. I don't have it here anymore. Mark, you survive another night. I deleted the Gallus music from here, so I don't have the Gallus music to play. It's a shame. What did you think of the tag team match? I mean, Tyler Bates in this, so you must have loved it.
No, it was fun to see them together too. Just it's nice whenever you get that kind of reunion between them, even if it's quote unquote one night only, right?
Why do you have confetti?
I don't know how that happened.
Where did the confetti come from?
What did you
Was that
do?
in your room?
What did you do?
Nothing. I didn't touch anything. I was playing on my phone for 3 seconds.
Me neither. I don't know what happened.
Anyways, you were saying?
That caught me off guard.
Caught me off guard too. All of a sudden, there's just confetti in the corner of your camera.
I don't know what did anything. I thought it was you, to be honest. It just made me laugh. But either way, no, it was. Oh, trust me, if he doesn't clip it, I would anyway. But no, it was a fun match between all of them. I figured right away that Coffey would get in there, and he did, like right after the pin happened, and so it just nothing out of ordinary there. But I love having Rich come in, and he had a good welcome as well. Like, I was wondering how people were gonna react to him, because I know some people were kind of hating on him because of Biggie's injury still. So I was wondering how that was gonna come off, but at least he had a good warming welcome, so it was nice to see it. But They didn't put a graphic for it, but I'm guessing this is gonna happen sometime next week or the week after, or maybe not next week because they already have it stuck as it is. But no, it was fun to watch. So I like seeing them together, especially now with Rich. Just makes me more excited.
Yeah. Sorry, I was looking at Twitter and it just made me laugh.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, this was a fun match. I really enjoyed it. I think there's room to grow here, but stuff could happen. Going back to the Tiffany Stratton thing, Chris Best says, or she can come back and do the old Cody Rhodes gimmick. You could, but Trish just did it.
Yeah.
Trish just had the face mask on, and she didn't do the I'm deformed and stay away from me kind of thing, but I think the rest of that gimmick is kind of played out. Like, we just had the beautiful people on Impact when they did their 1,000 and 1,001 episode anniversary specials, where they had the beautiful people putting the bags over people's faces again.
Jay, sure.
Was it Jay Vidal was one of the people that they put the thing on? I didn't watch the show.
I know you didn't.
I can criticize the fact that they did a 2-week anniversary show for their 1,000th episode.
Leave them alone.
Speaking of people I won't leave alone, at 8:38 on my clock, Ilja Dragunov came out to start a promo. 10 minutes later, this promo finally finished with Ilja Dragunov nowhere to be found. Ilja comes out to the crowd chanting, "Mellow Mist." And he goes ahead and he puts over Carmelo Hayes being a big star, and he puts over Carmelo Hayes and how hard Melo took it to him. But at the end of the day, you can call him the Czar. You can call him the Mad Dragon, but you need to call him the new NXT World Champion. That was really good. And then Trick comes out, and the crowd gets all lively again, and they keep chanting, "Whoop that Trick, whoop that Trick." We've got Melball in the chat. Hello, Melball.
Lady.
Unfortunately, no Eddie Thorpe anywhere in sight this
Probably
week.
not next week either.
No. Based on who they're putting out there, I don't think he's going to be out there next week either.
No.
He's going to be. Boo. He's going to be recovering from the strap match that happened last week, which you can go ahead and check out in the archives on the YouTube channel. No. So Trick comes out and he says, we're going ahead and we're talking about champions. Congratulations on you winning yours, but I won one too. Oh, how that feels so bad now. He talks about how Ilja is the one who showed him how to find the strength in the inner desire to be able to win the championship. Well, of course, this brings out Carmelo Hayes, who's like, "Excuse you? Excuse you, my friend? Who do you think you are? You're thanking him? He has one little feud with you over 2 weeks, and he is the one who pushed you to be a champion? I've had your back since the first day of 2.0. I thought it was good. I really liked that. It was fun.
Yeah.
Him and Trick go at it for a little bit, and Ilja goes, "Hey, look, this was a thing with champions. It's obvious I'm no longer needed here, so I'm going to leave. When you two figure out whatever this is," and he points to the North American Championship, "come find me. You won't have to look hard." And he walks away. Out comes Melo, says, "Am I dreaming? What's going on, Trick?" No, that was happened before Ilja left. After Ilja left, he says, "You come after me." Trick's. All my notes are disorganized. I apologize. Melo comes out. Him and Trick go back and forth. Ilja says, "Look, this isn't between me anymore. I'm leaving." Melo goes back and forth with Trick a little bit. Nothing great said. They're just continuing their back and forth. Out comes Dominic Mysterio, who starts talking about how he's going to win back his North American Championship because Mommy told him he needs to, which led to Trick saying the greatest line of Trick's night, and it's the only good line that Trick had the entire night because everything else went real downhill for Trick real fast after this moment. "Do you always do what Mommy says?" "Yes, because when Mommy tells you to do something, you do it."
Yeah.
Melo says, "You know what? He doesn't roll alone. You're going to want me in your corner." And then Dominic, perfect heel Dominic goes, "Oh, really, Trick? Look at this. You're 6'4". You're such a big dude. You need this guy for help?" And Trick's like, "Nope. I'm going to fall into the babyface thing. I'm going to go one-on-one against the guy who obviously has backup, because that's fine." Remember that for later on. What did you think
I don't
of this
want to.
incredibly long promo from 4 individuals?
Yeah, this one I didn't like how long it took definitely to get to that point. It just that part of like Trick going off on Ilya just made me laugh because I was waiting for that mellow to come in. He's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. He's like, what do you mean him? It made me laugh because I was like, they just look like somebody in a relation. He's like, how you look going out with the other woman, kind of thing. It just made me laugh so much. And definitely that line from Trick was priceless as well. But yeah, this once Dom started saying that, I was like, Trick, no, why'd you falling for that old trick that we heard her so often? Why? It frustrated me because I knew it was gonna happen. I'm waiting for Kamado to be like, I told you so. But yeah, it wasn't my favorite part because I knew that was gonna happen eventually, and I was dreading it.
Do you think Mello is going to be the one that wins back the North American Championship?
To me he should, because I was thinking about it from this point of view later, after since the main event happened. I guess we'll talk about it at this point. But being that Trick doesn't have the championship, I was thinking this is not, the feud between them is not the same without a championship involved. If we're not having the NXT championship, because Dragunov's not going to lose it anytime soon, might as well put the one that that Melo put on the map, to put it like that, one that he pushed, while Trick didn't even get the chance to do it because he was barely champion as well. So I think that it would be like a good like thing between both of them with that championship. Be like, I'm gonna make it the A championship again because look at you, you lost it in less than a week. So I think I back and forth between them with that championship involved will make more sense than the NXT championship right now.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be something interesting to see where they go with the North American title. While I'm not thrilled that it's back around the waist of Dominic Mysterio, I do know one person who's very happy. Mark, I hope you're happy. I know you're watching on the YouTube version. This is all your fault. Second time. One more, you don't get invited back. We move on to the ladies' triple threat, which got a decent amount of time. Got about 10 minutes. I really wish 4 of those minutes weren't in picture-in-picture ad break.
Yeah.
So, in this match, we had jobber entrances for Roxanne Perez and Lyra Valkyria, because Indi's the only one who got an entrance.
Yeah.
And then the match started, and about 2 minutes into the match, it goes into a picture-in-picture ad break.
Why?
And the rest of the match, we have Becky Lynch yapping and yapping and yapping during the match, so I can't enjoy the actual wrestling match. Otherwise, it was pretty good. Other than those major flaws, it was good. Kiana pulls Roxanne Perez out as she's about to win the match. And then Lyra Valkyria, taking advantage of it because it's a no disqualifications match, goes ahead and hits the world. Who does a worse frog splash or splash than Lyra Valkyria? There's got to be somebody.
What I don't like about it is like I wish you have some kind of style to it, but just like you going whoop, and just falling flat like that, it ain't gonna do it for me, honey. No, do a flip, do a little something in the air. I don't care what it is before you land, but you're just going whoop, and that's it. No, I don't like it. I'm like, if you feel like you're waiting for that, like, in the story when you have that climax in the story, that high point, you're waiting for that high point in the move, and it never happens. And it always disappoints me when I watch it. I don't like it. But
I mean, think of it. Tiffany Stratton does the prettiest moonsault ever, which is one of the most beautiful moonsaults.
yeah.
And it's picture perfect every time. She does such a fantastic job. And now she's added to her arsenal not just one of the best moonsaults of all time, really one of the better swantons in the wrestling world right now, or ever. There have been people who've done great swantons, don't get me wrong. Jeff Hardy used to do them fantastically. There's a lot of people who have done swanton bombs right. But hers are just wonderful. It doesn't look like she's out of control. It doesn't look like she's going to kill herself half the time. She just floats over, and she doesn't do the turn until the very last minute, but it's high enough that you know she's not going to end up on her neck. It's just lovely. And now you got Lyra Valkyria out here going, and not only that, like, that would be fine if she were me, if she were Bronson Reed. Like, think about it. Her and Bronson Reed have the exact same finishing move. They just fall off the top rope. You want to know why Bronson Reed's is a really good one and why hers isn't? Because she's all of 100 pounds soaking wet and Bronson Reed's about 350. It makes a difference. So if she's not going to be big, she needs to do something, like you said, a flip, something.
Either that or make it, if it was something that you could be like, give it a height like the moonsault with Tiffany, that would make sense. Because like, you're looking at her, they're like, oh, holy crap, she's coming. But like her going from there to like down like that, it almost makes it look like, you know, when you're going to like the pool and you just drop like that. That's what it looks like to me.
She doesn't jump, she just falls. She reminds me of Woody. She just falls. Anyways, we got Mel Ball Collins saying Natsuko Tora, I think that's how it's pronounced, has a pretty awesome swanton as well. I mean, I know there are more. I know there are more. I'm just rattling off the one that everybody knows, which is Jeff Hardy. But I get a good job. I did right. Yay! I did though have to have her phonetics out by Kojima the other day because I couldn't do Kojima's first name. I still can't because I can't look at the phonetics. Anyways, other than Lyra having a weak finishing move, she's developed better. Her promos are better. We saw that earlier in the day. Like, that promo, well, a bit boring and a bit like, I understand how it did what it did for her. You've talked many times about representation and what that means. No. Becky Lynch's representation for Irish girls everywhere. Where Zelina Vega is representation for you. Where Bayley is representation for you. Where AJ Lee is representation for you. Irish girls don't have that many role models to look at, but they have Becky Lynch. So I can see why somebody like Lyra Valkyria would feel that way about Becky. Because we both talked about how crappy Becky Lynch is. And mind you, we're not shitting on it any more than Becky has in the past. She's talked about how her time in NXT was the worst period of her career because of the character and the direction, that she had no direction and she was a bland character with no real direction. Yeah. So it's not like it was the greatest thing in the world that some of us just don't like. Becky herself openly talks about how bad that portion of her career was. But the representation matters. And so having an Irish woman versus an Irish woman with Tegan Nox getting in the way for a week. Like, if I'm Lyra Valkyria, I purposely make sure that Tegan Nox loses this match on Monday just so I get the match that I want on Halloween Havoc.
Yeah.
And honestly, it might not be a bad idea. Because again, we're going in face versus face, and it's fine, but mutual respect matches only go so far, and it requires a bit of mic skills that neither one of these two have to pull off the whole mutual respect story for 4 weeks. Because for those that don't know, the match is taking place at Halloween Havoc Night 1, which is October 24th, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So that gives us 2 actual shows, and then next week's WWE main roster and extravaganza. Which, for anybody who's missed it, Braun Breaker versus Carmelo Hayes with John Cena and Paul Heyman. Cody Rhodes is coming for a major announcement. And Roxanne Perez is potentially taking on the women's champion, Asuka. So, needless to say, there's not going to be any mention of Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch on next week's show.
Yeah.
Braun catches up with Carmelo Hayes backstage. And he says to Mello, you know what? I know how you feel, how you've lost, the anger, the resentment. The fans out there are cheering for Ilja. Not only are they cheering for Ilja, they're out there saying Mello missed. Take that anger, take that frustration, take that rage, and use it on everybody. Use it on Trick. Mello's like, oh, no. Hold on, big fella. I ain't turning on Trick. I ain't doing none of that stuff. And Braun brings up it. Braun's, by the way, best promo of Braun's career. Best promo of Braun's career. Granted, not a high bar to leap over, but the best promo of his career. When you won the NXT, when you lost the NXT Championship, was Braun Breaker backstage to give you a hug and give you an attaboy that you went out there and you did the best? No, he wasn't there. Did you have to go find him? And he just walks away. Smello think it. I like this. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
We come back from commercial break. Ilja's getting his side plates put on. Baron Corbin comes up and goes, hey, I hope they don't put on those side plates too tight. After seeing who's coming next week, I really hope they don't, because I think Cody Rhodes is taking that title in less than a month.
No.
I think Cody Rhodes is taking that title at night 2 of Halloween Havoc. Anyways. Baron says, you know what? There's only 2 guys in this company that's beat you. Mello and me. You beat Mello. You still ain't beat me. So why don't you sleep tight? Go over there and get those stills with those brand new side plates and treasure those photos. Because it's not going to last long. This was good.
Yeah.
Well, for every good, there's a bad. Blair Davenport versus Gigi Dolin. I've been crapping on this match for 4 weeks. I'm going to continue to crap on it. There wasn't much to it. 90% of the match revolved around a steel chair that neither woman could use. And then Blair Davenport, the smart heel in the match, lost playing tug of war with the referee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got nothing. Find something good.
I thought it was interesting, though, that from the get-go, I was thinking Blair was going to end up winning this match because we had her gain that momentum recently. So I was thinking it's definitely Blair winning. It just a way to like showcase themselves before Blair wins. And then we get the tug of war with the chair. And then Gigi, the babyface, taking advantage of the distraction from the referee to win the match and roll over under the bottom rope and celebrate by the rim with the referee. I think raised her hand after. And then Blair arguing with the ref at ringside. And it just, I was like, wait, isn't Blair the heel? Couldn't she have done that? That was, it felt odd at first. But at the same time, I thought this is one of the few ways they can, in a way, protect Blair from taking this loss, though, at the same time, because of the distraction here. But I was thinking, this is not something I expected from Gigi, the babyface, in the feud to happen. But I'm guessing Blair's probably going to ask for a rematch because of what happened. And I don't see it ending, at least this time around. So, you're muted.
I'm doing other things. I'm trying to make a new thumbnail. I had a perfectly good thumbnail for this show, and then this show happened, and I have to make a brand new one. We got Chris Best. I like how Blair pie-faced the referee after the match. Yeah, it's going to cost her some money, kayfabe-wise, but yeah. I did think it was a nice idea. Mm-hmm. It makes no sense. Gigi's not going anywhere. You need to build heels. The whole point right now is you need to build a few heels to take on Becky, because you just had a number 1 contenders match made up of baby faces. You need to build a heel. Mm-hmm. And you just took your top heel that's not Tiffany Stratton, because she is your top heel, and you had her lose in a dumb way.
Yeah.
It's just...
Because if you think about it, being Tiffany out of the picture, the other heels that get like showcased often are Blair and then Kiana. And then obviously we had Kiana's presence during the 3-way that left Blair, and I was like, What is happening tonight? But I just realized too, that was 3 women's matches and 1 big promo segment tonight. Good job, NXT.
Well,
Shh,
match.
What? I know, we're gonna keep it that way. Shh, it's okay. We'll take the victory. Let's move on.
Kiana James is backstage on her phone. She's repeatedly asked questions by Mackenzie Mitchell. She eventually gets off the phone, asks what the question was. As the question's being re-asked, she goes, "Oh yeah, I remember the question I was supposed to be asked." I honestly think she forgot what the promo segment's supposed to be and had to ask what the question was. But it worked in kayfabe because she was on the phone, so she wouldn't have heard the question. But then she ruins it by pretending that she now remembers the question. Like there was a playfulness there, and then she ruined it by remembering the question. Anyways, she says Roxanne's been the golden child since she walked through those doors. But you know who else walked through those doors during the Breakout tournament? Me. You know who gets every opportunity under the sun because of her presence in the Breakout tournament? Roxanne. You know who gets looked over by everybody for everything? Me. You know who's a one-time women's NXT tag team champion? Roxanne. You know who else is a women's tag team champion? Me. Not me, but Kiana. Just so we're clear. She says, you know what? Everyone overlooks me for Roxanne. That's fine. Roxanne's going to have a hard time not being overlooked next week when her opponent comes down here, Asuka. And I'm like, the fuck? Like, how do you, Kiana James, even in kayfabe with the money you have enough money to procure the services of Asuka, who probably doesn't give a shit about money? Like, it's not like Asuka's a character that cares about money.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand, but I'm down.
That part didn't make sense.
If it gives me this match, I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
Ashley, what were your thoughts on this promo segment?
It was just the overall part of the connection between Asuka and Kiana, because something that didn't make sense to me from one person to the other, that part. But once she said Asuka, I went, HBK going for Book of the Year. I see you. I see what's happening here. And that somebody pointed out, it's just incredible that we had, Roxanne, she went against Mako and not going against Asuka too. So I like her tweet. I forgot the exact words, but it was like joke's on you because I get to face somebody like I wanted to face. It was something along those lines. So either way, Roxanne's like, you put me in this match, I'm the one winning. And because I'm facing Asuka. She said, "Thanks for letting me check off another dream match, idiot. Sleeping one eye open, Kiana James." So I was like, I do like that aspect of it, of like, you make it seem like it's terrible for me because I'm facing her, but at the same time, it's a dream match for me. So I like how they said that.
Yeah, I thought it was fun. I really like this promo. Again, Kiana's great on the microphone. Like she had, like I said, I think that they missed an opportunity here to have her just keep playing along and having not heard the question. But at the end of the day, it's not that big a deal. But I think she did a really good job cutting the promo. We then get all the women standing in a row for the Breakout tournament introduction bullshit that we don't need. We had a video package earlier. We know who these women are. You've showed us their picture twice now.
Mm-hmm.
No entrances for Kelani versus in Izzi Dame. I would have liked to hear if Izzi Dame has theme music. We've heard Kelani's. We've never heard Izzi Dame's. I would like to have heard if she had music. I do want to say, however, I just saw this on Twitter, and I didn't realize it. I kept going ahead and putting the finisher, that the split-legged moonsault that Kelani does, and I kept in my head putting it with John Morrison because I see split-legged and I instantly think Starship Pain. Yes, there's no twist to it, but it's essentially the same move almost.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here and watching and I'm going, oh, that's not who she's emulating. Not at all. It's Trinity. Because Trinity does the split-legged moonsault.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you, Twitter, for teaching me that, because honestly, that's the most interesting thing to talk about with this match. The fact that they telling me that Kelani Jordan is the favorite in this tournament tells you how bad this tournament is. And my girl's Lola's in this. But how bad can a tournament be if Kelani Jordan is the best and favorite in the tournament? Oy.
Okay, with you.
Tell me I'm wrong.
There you go, the meme again. No, just like I was telling you, is I feel like they start looking at it from this standpoint of like most of the girls. I mean, all the girls are new to it, but if you think about it, when you count the matches at NXT, then Kelani is the one with the most experience out of all of them, and she's the only one that has made it to a PLE like that as well. So for them, I understand from their point of view having her as a favorite because she's the one that we have seen on TV the most out of all of them. And then probably Lola after that because we've seen Jakara, but we haven't seen her wrestle. Lola, we've seen wrestle. And then Ariana got injured pretty quickly, so we really saw her wrestle as well. So I think it from like that standpoint, it does make sense of why they say like Kelani because of the experience that she had so far.
Yeah, no, I get it, but it screams that you needed better people in your tournament if Kelani Jordan is the best you can get. I'm just saying. There are wonderful women across the world that are out there that are free agents. And this is the best you can do when you knew you had a tournament coming? Think about this. In the men's breakout tournament, we had Josh Briggs and Carmelo Hayes. Now, yeah, we had Odyssey Jones and crap like that. But we had bona fide stars, indie stars, in Carmelo Hayes and Josh Briggs. In the first women's breakout tournament, we had Roxanne Perez, who was already a name, a household name, for being the Ring of Honor Women's World Champion. Not the first ever, but a Women's World Champion in Ring of Honor. That tweet still hurts me that they slight my dear friend Sumi Sakai. Because I was there when Sumi won the match. I was there when she won that title. And I seen her defend it a couple times because I was a big Ring of Honor fan during that period of time. And I'm just like, Taylor Hendricks is still a wrestler. You could have gone out and gotten her. She has plenty of an indie experience. And even if you're not going to put them over, at least bring them out into the tournament and let them lose. Because none of these girls are ready for the big time. None of these matches can be long because none of these girls are ready. And it's just, I don't want to keep crapping all over it, but at the same time, it's like, I get that you want to do a breakout, but to do a breakout, you have to have people with talent and potential. And Kalani's really the only one with superstar potential because Lola's still way too green to have any potential right now.
Yeah.
She's good, she's getting better, but she's just started having matches on NXT. Kelani Jordan was being trained by Dana Brooke on television. Like, how can I believe that she's the most talented one in this entire tournament?
I think if you think about it too, from their standpoint, I think this is the first time, if I'm not mistaken, if you think about it from the contestants, that all these girls are starting from scratch at the PC. Because like you said, last time we had people like Roxanne who have previous experience too. But in this one, all these girls are starting out in the PC. So I like how this is different in that aspect too from the girls before. There's like, basically, if you think about it, this was like, we made these girls from scratch here. So like whatever you see on screen is like, we made that happen. So I think that it just shows like a different kind of meaning this time around compared to before.
Sorry, something accidentally played. I apologize. Yeah, no, I agree. Like, it's fine that you have these people who are day one NXT through and throughs, but you better be damn sure they're ready. And this is, like I said, it was a fine match. Like, there's nothing wrong with this match. Kelani Jordan's getting better and better every time she's in the ring. She looked good.
Yeah, I didn't like how Izzi went though because I felt like all we saw from her was her trash talking, but then nothing to like really show for it. The best thing she did was that backbreaker to Kelani. But aside from that, I felt like there was nothing that I could be like, whoa, like she definitely like I could feel like the breakout tournament is for her because I didn't see anything that stood out to me. I like that she had her moment to like shine and during the match in itself. But if you think about it, she was hit one move and then she'll go like this, like she was trash talking Kelani. Like that's all she would do, as if she was buying time because she had nothing else. But then Kalani's the one selling the moves. Kalani's, doing everything else and picking up the slack in the match and then winning it at the end. And I was like, I don't. I'm glad you're out right now. I'm sorry, but I'm glad you're out of the tournament. But I'm glad at the same time we have Kalani. The thing that I felt, looking back at the graphic, I'm putting it in here, is that I was thinking it's like Danny Palmer and Lola Vice in the same round. I would have switched them up with Carmen and Jada, because that way you have one of the girls that's been on TV a little bit longer than the other ones in every single kind of, I don't want to say in every single match if you think about it from that standpoint. But that's it. The part that has made me laugh though has been the memes between Ariana Grace and like the way they put Santita Morella online with the pageant stuff. That has been funny. But yeah, during the match in itself, I wish Izzy would have done a little bit more, because I feel like everything she did was, I want to say, like lackluster in a way, but that's how I felt about it.
So Ariana Grace is winning this, right?
I don't know at this point.
Oh, her Jakara, right? It has to. It's that match that wins this tournament.
I'm guessing Ariana in that one at least.
Because, well, I think Jakara, because she's going to have Metaphor outside the ring. So I think you can cheat to win her all the way to the finals.
Yeah.
And then it'd be like her against, Danny Palmer or something. Because NXT apparently hates me. Like, you couldn't redo this with former, like, breakout tournament stars, because most of them still haven't broken out. Like, you could have had Tatum Paxley in this. You could have had Fallon Henley back in this. You could have had Kiana back in this. Like, you could have done stuff like that. You didn't have to necessarily go to NXT Level Up and go, okay, all of y'all that have been doing Level Up matches that Ed doesn't know, you're all going to come up here and do matches now. Like, where's Tina Turner? She's healthy. Why isn't she in this tournament?
She'd have been like another like heel person to like move up, if anything.
Anyways, we get a backstage segment with JC Jane and Thea Hale. And Thea wants nothing to do with Andre Chase and Duke Hudson, as they come to tell her that, they wanted to be in her corner. And they wanted to wish her luck for her match. And JC's like, no, you guys can come. It's fine. You guys can come out by ringside. And Thea's like, whatever. I don't give a damn. And she walks away.
My favorite part is like, we'll do Chase you on 3. She helped them do every part, but she didn't say it though. It's just a funny part.
No, she didn't say it, but she did help them get it. Because she wants to look good in Thea's eyes, so that when Andre Chase starts coming and going, she's using you, she can go, no, she likes us. She likes you. Why are you picking on her? She's my new friend, and you're picking on... That's exactly where this is going to go.
Mm-hmm.
And the sad thing is, if this were any other wrestling company, it would end up with Andre Chase versus Thea Hale in a match. But it's WWE, and they won't do that, so I don't know where it goes.
No idea.
JC Jane and Thea Hale then have tag team action against Elektra Lopez and Lola Vice in their really shitty elevator theme music.
The thing I don't like is between them is that entrance, because everything you can tell they're just counting it, so they go at the same time when they do the head thing like this, and just... I don't like that. It's like, and they come to the ring and they pose at the same time. And it's like, I can tell you're doing it with like a certain count in your head, so you do it at the same time. So it's it's too rehearsed, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it's Elektra Lopez hasn't gotten any better. It's been a while.
Yeah.
That spot of her running into the post was pretty awful.
Oh, did you notice Thea dancing to the song?
No, I'm talking about the spot where
I know.
Oh, okay.
But I'm just saying, did you see that part when Thea was dancing to the theme song though?
No, I didn't.
I
didn't know or care. Thea Hale on my TV screen. I don't know or care, but I care about her more than I care about the breakout tournament. So I moved on from that to talk about
this. This was a match.
It was indeed a match. It had a bell. It had some wrestling, and some
Sure.
wrestling, and then it
And
had
a referee in there and everything. I I feel like I have no notes for that because it was just like it happened, and then the girls won, and I saw Andre and Duke, happy and celebrating. But that was it.
We catch up with Carmelo Hayes outside the arena, and he goes, "You know what? I just got off the phone, and I have a match with Braun Breaker next week. And I had to call somebody to give me some confidence. So I called up my boy John Cena, and I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. They're both from Boston. They probably would have exchanged words. They probably met at some point. Yeah, that makes sense that he'd call John Cena. I mean, I'm assuming he did it via Twitter because I don't think John Cena would have given him his cell phone number.
Yeah.
John Cena is very particular about things. I don't know if anybody's ever watched Total Divas.
Very particular.
But he goes ahead and says not only did Cena become a 16-time world champion, to do that, he had to get knocked down 15 times and get back up. So I can do it too. And I'm like, all right, that makes sense. And he's going to be in my corner next week. I'm like, the fuck? The fuck you say, boy?
Wait, did I hear that right?
I did not think I heard it right until I saw the graphic a couple seconds later that said John Cena in the corner of Carmelo Hayes to take on Braun Breaker.
It's the funny part because
it was at that moment that I realized that WWE was taking this AEW thing a little seriously.
Yeah. First, I was thinking I like the Asuka one because I'm like, we've seen a couple people from the main roster come down in recent weeks. It makes sense with the media
it's
rights.
A fun match. It's a dream match. It's something and it's a testing thing for Roxanne. We know Roxanne's ready for the main roster. It's a chance to just go ahead and show her, have Asuka come down, wrestle with her, and have Asuka go back to Triple H and go, yeah, she's really, really ready. We can bring her up. And I'm like, okay, that makes a little bit. And then they said John Cena. I'm like, that barely comes back to WWE for anything, let alone come all the way fuck down to NXT. That hasn't been to NXT since they called it Florida Championship Wrestling.
I should skip my show next week.
I'm sure I can find a guest for next week's show.
I wouldn't be able to. It's okay. But in that moment when I said it's like because I like I said I was thinking of like we have main roster people come down, so I understand Asuka being there. I was like that was one. Once I heard Justine, I went, "What? Are you serious?" And that's when I remembered. I was like, "Oh, they're going against AEW next week, and it's TK's birthday on top of it."
Oh, is it Tony Khan's birthday next week?
He said it during the media scrum, which is the funny part. If he loses, that'll be the birthday present for him.
I also do want to bring up something else, and something that Astrid showed me, so all credit goes to her. Bully Ray, as soon as the John Cena thing got tweeted out, Cena to NXT next Tuesday. On all levels, if you don't think there's a chess match going on right now between AEW and NXT, you just don't understand the business. And he's right. It's not about being petty. It's not about, oh, AEW's on, we have to put out a hell of a show. No, it's about the fact that you've got a chance to go ahead and potentially steal a couple fans. You've got a chance to have a big-ass show. And by the way, John Cena's leaving in a few weeks because the writers have just finished their strike, which means the actors aren't far behind. So Cena's got maybe a month left. And as soon as these dates he signed on for are done, he's gone. So if you're going to bring him now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not this petty thing that people keep bringing up that it's going to be. It's the same thing WWE has done for 30 to 40 years. When competition's on that night, they go big. They try to do it when Monday Night Football has a massive matchup. They try to make sure they have big events. When any competitor runs a show against them on the same weekend and it's not called Collision, they make sure they have a big event. Sorry, Collision doesn't count. They're not going to counter program Collision. They could put Sunday Night Heat from 1998 up on the television network, and it'd still draw more people than Collision.
But I think it's just a fun time in wrestling because I like at least myself I'm glad I have two screens because I will be watching both screens next week. when you think about it. Plus, I'm like, they'll be going against, Adam Copeland's AEW debut, and who knows what else, because we haven't seen the whole card from Dynamite until tomorrow. But it just makes me laugh because I think about the meme of this one. It's like HBK going to TK. Here, hold my beer. What you got now? Because I want to see what else he has to his, to the show.
Does Jade Cargill, like, I know I read the stupid tweet about Jade Cargill showing up. Does she show up next week?
I will kind of do it in a way of like a teasing of like, kind of like I can show up anywhere and like have her show up in that sort of way, but not say she's in NXT.
Play her theme music so that we hear what music she has, end that debate, and then just have her pop up. Yeah. But also have her pop up on Raw the night before. And on that same week, make sure she pops up on SmackDown too. And do it all 3 nights.
Yeah, keep that.
Or do NXT first, SmackDown on Friday, and then Raw the next week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
As if this wasn't enough, right after we get the Carmelo Hayes news about John Cena. Oh, by the way, Cody Rhodes is coming down to NXT with a major announcement.
He's going against AEW.
I do like the rest of this is just good business. Cody Rhodes cutting a promo on NXT the same night that AEW is programmed against them. That's petty. That's where WWE loses the whole petty thing. When they have Cody Rhodes coming to cut the promo next week.
That's crazy.
What do you think his announcement's going to be?
I was thinking about it. I was like, what kind of announcement he could give during NXT? I was thinking, what about Pillman? But that's the only thing that I could think of because we had his like video packages for a while.
Okay, but why would Cody announce? What, are they going to have a match?
I don't know. I kept trying to think of like, what does Cody have that could be announcing? Oh, maybe the Dusty Classic. Has it happened this year? I don't remember this one.
It's the Dusty Classic.
But I'm like, he has to announce something related to him or his family. Like, what else could he say?
He's coming to challenge Ilja Dragunov.
It's like, I'm thinking something he cannot say during Raw and SmackDown because he has more ties to NXT than to the other shows.
Again, he's challenging Ilja Dragunov. No, could you imagine if the Deadline main event is Cody Rhodes versus Ilja Dragunov?
Oh, gosh.
Could you imagine if that's the main event for the December show?
That's crazy. Well, ticket sales, though.
Tickets go on sale Wednesday. Tomorrow morning, tickets go on sale. I'm not planning to go to the show because my friend doesn't want to drive 2 hours. If Cody Rhodes is on that show, I'm getting tickets.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of like anything that ties into NXT that he could be saying here that's more important in NXT than in Raw and SmackDown. I don't know.
We then get the main event, which honestly, after everything else we've heard tonight, is kind of lackluster. Can you imagine the main event of your wrestling program being a fantastic wrestling match between Trick Williams and Dominic Mysterio? Not as good as Saturday, let's be honest. It wasn't as good as Saturday because there's interference everywhere. Mommy throws in her title and Trick gets DDT'd on that. They try to use the briefcase. Finn uses his title. JD McDonough comes running and gets kicked in the face by Trick. Like, they did everything they could.
Yeah.
I like that it took all of that to get Dom his title back. Mm-hmm. At least Trick looks like a competent competitor by having to overcome everybody in the group.
My favorite part is kicking JD Funko Pop in the face.
Yes, kicking JD. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's Cody versus JD Funko Pop.
But I like that. I just kept thinking the same thing you did of like it took all of Judgment Day and JD Funko Pop for them to take down Trick. And it's like it takes so many people to take him down because even the DDT on the championship didn't do it. They had to have the distraction and JD coming in, and even then it took Balor hitting him with the championship for him to come down. So I like that part of it, but at the same time, it shows of like if you think about it from the storyline standpoint of Dom loses the championship when Mommy wasn't around, but then when Mommy's around, he regains it. So it's like he can't do anything without her being involved. So no shocker there, of course, but yeah, I didn't like having Trick lose this quickly. That's the only part that frustrated me out of this. It made me go, but why? We all wanted this. You could hear the crowd reaction. It's like I know it's gonna gain him more sympathy with the crowd, but it doesn't mean I wanted him to lose the championship tonight. It's just no, not a fan of it.
All right, well, not enough people voted on the thing, so I can't really count this. But if I did count it, it's a win for NXT because only one person voted and they voted for NXT. It wasn't me. So we'll have to try that another night. Astrid. Oh, I almost forgot. We then, at the end of the show, got Paul Heyman outside the TV truck from TV, I'm assuming last night? I'm assuming it was Raw last night that he was outside at?
Yeah.
And he starts talking. And he goes,
Yeah.
you know what? You're going to get advice from the second greatest of all time. And I'm like, oh, God. They're not going to bring Roman Reigns to NXT, right?
I was thinking
They're
that
not going to bring Roman Reigns to... I thought the way he kept talking, I thought they were bringing fucking Roman Reigns to NXT. Then I got the render for Paul and Roman saved to put on the thumbnail. No, it's just Paul Heyman. He has been given the permission of the tribal chief to be in the corner of Braun Breaker. And that I'm excited for. Because Braun Breaker being a Paul Heyman guy.
Remember we talked about it too. Was it you that mentioned it or Caden? Or was it Mark?
I think it was Cade.
Yeah.
I don't love the idea of Paul Heyman going from Roman Reigns to Braun Breaker. I think it's a bit of a downturn.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of the tribal chief taking a liking to a Braun Breaker, that I like. I like this idea. I like the way they played it off. And again, forget this week. Look at next week. And you know what we're going to need to keep up with both shows next week? Rogue Energy. And you can go ahead and scan the QR code right below Astrid, or you can go to wwenxt.com and get yourself a sugar-free, healthier for you energy drink option with all kinds of fantastic flavors, including my favorite, the sour watermelon. Yes, you can get the sour watermelon right now if you go to Rogue Energy. You want to save some money? Getting close to Christmas, everybody wants to save some money, right? Go ahead and use the promo code OLEPODS to get 10% off your order. Yes, go to rogueenergy.com or scan the QR code just below Astrid, and you can go ahead and get 10% off your order when you use the promo code OLEPODS. You like your thing in a can like Astrid does with her Red Bull? Boom, they've got you covered. If you like it in a tub and you shake it, go ahead and get that workout in, shake. You can go ahead and do that too. Go to rogueenergy.com. And remember, use the promo code OLEPODS to get 10% off your order. Astrid, where can the good people find you next week?
I mean, hopefully this weekend we'll have I was going to say No Mercy. Why am I stuck on next week? Fastlane post show. Hopefully we'll be able to do. But aside from that, you can find me on social media, X and Blue Skies, Astrid Pizarro, Instagram and Threads, Astrid Pizarro 20. And then everything else is on my YouTube channel that you can find. So there you go.
Don't forget that Astrid will be live at the end of Fastlane this Saturday. Right? I thought the question that you.
I mean, I hope so. I'm waiting to see if I have a partner or two.
You can do it by yourself.
No, we're not doing that. Nobody wants to see that.
It's just Fastlane. Astrid and friends will be live this Saturday to go ahead and cover Fastlane. You can also catch me tomorrow night, Solo Wrestle Draft, episode 2, where I try to finish, but I'm not gonna, but I'm gonna try to finish season 1. Hopefully I'll have some friends stop by to go ahead and help me through as I go ahead and play through my own Solo Wrestle Draft while we await the return of Chris Parrish. You can also catch me this Friday night as me and my friend Andre C. are back. Yes, Marvel Talk is back this Friday night. We are back. We're going to be talking episode 1 of Loki. Yes, episode 1 of Loki will be debuting this Thursday, so Friday night we will be back. We're going to be on a kind of a funky schedule for Loki because unfortunately work's getting in the way for some of us, but Marvel Talk is back now that the writer's strike is over and the Actors Guild looks like they're making headway in negotiations, so hopefully we're going to go ahead and return. So Marvel Talk will be back. We'll be covering Loki. We'll be getting ready to cover Miss Marvel in the beginning of November. And then we're going to go ahead and start doing our Marvel rewatch series, where me and Andre go back to the past and start all the way at the beginning with Iron Man at some point. So definitely keep your eyes out for that in the future. You can go ahead and find me on the X at edfries12584. You can find me on the Twitch at edfries2002. Brand new Marvel season just dropped. It's a whole bunch of fun again. So I'm going to go ahead and try to stream some of that coming up. Of course, you can find our local establishment at all of these fine different locations on every social media platform that you can think of. And if you need to, just go ahead and check out the YouTube channel, youtube.com/our local establishment. You can find all the links from it right there. We have enjoyed having you here, and we'll see you all next time. Have a good night. Goodbye.